Okay, so let's change gears a little bit and do some work with probably consecutive integers because we translated some sentences using consecutive integers, but we didn't really work with them yet. So let's do an example of that one. So again, we're going to translate sentences into equations by looking for the equal sign that separates into one expression on the left, one expression on the right, and then we can translate those expressions. We're not going to do that one on the right. We did the one on the left that was pretty straightforward. Well, pretty involved enough that let's do another example of maybe consecutive integer problems. So we'll do the one on the left. Find three consecutive integers, all right, such that 3 times the second equals 4 more than the sum of the first and third. Ooh, wow, all right. So let's define our variables. We got find three consecutive integers because we need to know, we need to begin with the end in mind. We got to find out what we need to know, what we need to find out. So let's define our three consecutive even integers. I've got n, and I've got n plus 2, and I've got n plus 4. Those are three consecutive even integers. If it was 2 and 4 and 6, or 10 and 12 and 14, that would be, all these integers would be separated by 2. So it'd be 10, and then 2 more would be 12, and then 2 more, which would be 4 more than this guy, is our next consecutive integer. So there's our smallest, our next largest, next largest. All right, find three consecutive even integers. We've defined them such that 3 times the second equals, all right, well, there's my equal sign. I'm going to say equals right there. And I'm going to say 3 times the second, that's on the left side of my equation. 3 times the second, what's the second one? Right there, n plus 2, equals 4 more than, let's go over here and translate that, 4 more than the sum of the first and third. 4 more than is 4 more than the sum, 4 more than the sum of the first and third. What's the first? N. What's the third? N plus 4. And there's our equation. Let's see if we translated that right. Find three consecutive even integers. Well, here they are. Such that 3 times the second equals 4 more than the sum of the first and the third. The only reason I put parentheses around here was because it was 4 more than the sum. You could have easily said n plus 4 plus 4 more to be 4 more than the sum of these two. But either way, we've kind of written it this way. All right, so now let's solve. To solve, first of all, we're going to clear these parentheses. I got 3 times this 3 multiplied by all these terms in here to get terms outside. I've got 3 times n, 3n. 3 times positive, positive times positive is positive. 3 times 2 is 6, equals 4. Let's assume that there's an invisible 1 here. So there's two ways we can kind of look at this. Plus parentheses means parentheses go away. Why? Because we can assume that there's a 1 coefficient out here. And if we take plus 1 times all these terms in here, well, plus 1 times whatever term is in here is the same thing as the term in here. Positive 1 times positive n plus n. Positive 1 times positive n plus n. Positive 1 times positive 4, positive 4. So you can see that the parentheses have kind of just disappeared just because of the plus 1 means that all these terms just come out because they're just multiplied by 1. All right, so now let's just, let's see, combine like terms would be the next step. We've cleared parentheses, so combining like terms. Here's our like terms over here. So on the left side, 3n plus 6 stays as 3n plus 6. We're not going to do anything with that yet. 4 plus 4 are like terms, 8. Plus n becomes plus 2n because we've got 1n plus 1n becomes 2n. Now we solve by doing the middle school dance. Numbers to one side, variables to the other side. I'm going to subtract on the right side 2n, subtract on the left side 2n. And I've got 3n minus 2n is just 1n, or n. Plus 6 stays the same, equals 8 stays the same. Now I subtract 6 on the left, subtract 6 on the right. We've got to keep things equal. We've got to keep the kids happy at Christmas time. Whatever you do to one side, you got to do the other to the other side. N didn't change. Plus 6 minus 6 became 0 equals 8 minus 6, 2. N equals 2. Done solving the equation, but not quite done solving the question. We've got to find 3 consecutive even integers. If n equals 2, then the next one down was n plus 2. That would be 4. 2 plus 2, 4. Next one down, 2 plus 4, 6. Or this one plus 2. And that's it. That's essentially what we're doing. We've translated the sentences, or the sentence, and we've solved.